Pete Moore, welcome to Gun Mart TV. And I have something here, it's a little bit different, also a little bit short for me. It's the Savage Axis 2 Compact. It's a rifle built with smaller shooters in mind, and it's obviously built on their 110 action, which is probably the best thing they've ever made in terms of a box mag feed gun. It's no different from the average Savage, apart from they've simplified a few things. The stock is a decent synthetic, but it doesn't come with the AccuStock features with their sort of bedding system, nor does it come with the different height combs. Instead, you have a length of pull of a mere 12.75 inches, which is well short for me. And as you can see, I've had to shift the scope pretty much as far forward as it can go so I can get a decent head cheek weld. As I said before, this is designed for smaller people, youngsters, that sort of thing. It's a good idea. However, Savage do offer spacer kits, so it wouldn't be too hard to get a spacer kit and add a couple of inches onto this butt. Checkering is obviously casted in pressed. It's very nice, good feel to it, nice and grippy but not too savage, pardon the pun. Up front, same thing, you've got trick fingerboards there for if you're shooting off amps, quite good. Accu-Trigger, it comes out of the box, set, probably about £4 or thereabouts, and you can wind it back. I think you've got £3 to throw on it. I think it's been £2 and £5 roughly. In set you have like a Glock type blade, which acts as a sort of a first stage feel and also a sort of safety, because if this is pressed on it, if this is pulled without the centre blade being, should we say, moved backwards, the gun just clicks, it doesn't fire, it just goes into fail safe and you just redo it. It's quite fine. Bolt handle is quite large, nice heavy checker and easy to operate, and as always with a Savage, the best thing about it is the tang mounted safety. Perfect again, hands on there, flick, flick, it's beautiful, just works really well. So the barrel is 20 inches, threaded half by 20 UNF, and you can see it free floats reasonably well in the fore end, and there's a fair bit of movement. If you watch, you can see how much it moves. And there's no apparent barrel contact when you're on a bipod to forcing the rifle as such. Got QD studs front and rear. I fit the Harris BRS bipod. That is really the package. What it really is a compact little 223 with a 20-inch barrel, which is probably enough to get most out of the 223. Also, the other main difference of this is that it comes as a bundle. In this case, they're put on a Vortex Crossfire 3-9x40. It's 1-inch tube. No side focus, no illumination, there you go. But it's a good workmanlike scope, it works well. They also include a set of 1-inch rings with it and a Picatinny style mount. The fittings are made in China. That's probably the scope is, certainly of this type model. But it's nice to have it, it'll save you some money. The barrel is 1 in 9 twists, so it should support most bullet weights. Importers Egger Brothers sent me some Hornaday Superperformance Varmint in 53 grain VMAX, which is a pretty sort of that, and a 55 grain VMAX is the sort of load you'd be shooting through a gun like this, which means you could shoot muntjac with it, Chinese water deer, and obviously vermin. I also picked a 69 grain load. I'm really interested to see how this takes it. Apart from that, it's just a nice normal little rifle, no real whistles and bells, well made, with, I think, reasonable accuracy potential, but we'll see that at the end of the test. Okay, so let's just look a little bit more in detail at some of the features of the stock and the action. Magazine change is slick. Press the button here, it comes out. As you can probably see, it's got its own release catch built in. It's a 4-round unit, so it loads from a single central position, feeds in that way too. Feed is good. Back in easy, locks in nice and solid. No complaints there at all. Bolt change is a little bit strange on this gun, or something a little bit different. If you look, that's the actual bolt catch there. If the gun is cocked, you go to pull that back, you can't. but now you can when it's uncocked, like so. So to put it back in, when it goes back in, this locks as soon as the bolt's out. So what you'll do is press the trigger all the way, pull that back, and slip it in. Super Performance varmint. It's a 53 grain VMAX, and they always quote velocity figures here. You can see they are telling us that speed at muzzle is 3,465 feet per second, which is really cracking on. I know Super Performance does increase the speed slightly, but we'll just put it over the chronograph to see what it's actually doing. From a 20-inch tube, I think it's going to be a little bit less. So I've got some 69 grain Sierra tipped Match King reloads. I used to use my AR-15. Okay, so what do I think of the Axis 2 Compact? Well, it's very short for someone like me, but that can be easily remedied with the spacers. Both the 53 grain VMAX load and the 69 grain Sierra TMK reload, sub 1 inch. I think that the 53 went to about 7.5 and the 69 about 80, so not a lot in it. Velocity wise, let's have a look. The 2-3 rem Super Performance, I was averaging 3,206 feet per second, which is about 230 feet per second down on what Horner they advertise. Stick it through something like a 26-inch barrel, but say this 3.2 is probably about right for a 20-inch barrel with that sort of weight bullet, 50-55. Energy wise, I was getting 1,200 foot-pounds, which is good enough for muntjac and things like that. Extreme spread was quite high at 72 feet per second. Right, the Sierra, again, much slower because it's a heavier bullet. That was coming in at 2865.7 feet per second, which is pretty good for that sort of weight bullet in the 20-inch tube. Extreme spread was a mere 7 feet per second, which is nice, which just shows what a well-crafted reload can do. Energy-wise, you're getting again about 1,200 foot-pounds, though obviously it's a match bullet, but there are other bullets out there of that weight that are hunting bullets, so from that point it's pretty good. Really not a lot of problems, not a lot of complaints. One thing I did notice that the rifle doesn't single load when you've got the mag in. If you drop around and it drops too low, but that's just a feature of the rifle. I do prefer a rifle at single loads. Short to stock, that's not a problem. If you say you're a smaller stature. If I wanted something like this, then I just go and get the extension pack. So there it is. It's nice to shoot an uncomplicated little rifle, it really is, and this is not bad to look at. So it'll be in the shops. Say it comes with the scope package. I'm not sure if it's offered without the scope package. You'd have to ring up the importer to find out. There you go. So I hope you enjoyed this. It's been useful to you. Comment if you liked it, or if you don't, still comment. Tell your friends. Support the website, and if you need to speak to me about anything in terms of whatever, then it's pmore.shootingsports@gmail.com. Until then, good and safe shooting.